Welcome everyone, Hari Om, on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Ancient Wisdom for Modern Seekers, and we're talking about all things Vedanta. And today we have a very special, wonderful, amazing, revered Swami Sarvadevananda ji, who we all know and love so much from the Hollywood Temple. He's actually the head minister of all of the Vedanta Society of Southern California. And he's in Trabuco right now. Did you give a talk this morning, Swami?
Yeah. Yes.
He gave a talk this morning, and now he's spending the afternoon with us, which is really wonderful and gracious of him. So our topic for the day is spiritual growth and spiritual strength. And I thought we'd just keep it real casual and anybody can ask questions. And we had one question to start too. So why don't you repeat your question, Sai, for everybody so they can
I want the question I had for, if Swami can elaborate on it, is it's very good to have a practice, because without a practice you don't have any spiritual growth. But even with the practice, sometimes you feel the progress, but you can keep it up for years and feel as though you're not getting anywhere. It's always the same. There's no new kind of sense of breakthrough. So the sense of growth is not there. There may be the growth, but at least personally speaking for myself, the sense of growth is not there. And so I was thinking, when you brought up this topic of growth and strength, is it lack of strength that you need to put in more effort and you don't have the strength? What it is?
Yeah. First of all, we have to understand the very important word, spiritual growth. What does it mean? And what is the spiritual strength? We have strength in the physical level. In the physical level, we call physical strength. You grow your muscles every day, exercise. You see how your muscle is growing or your physical strength is growing. Then you can measure that, yes, you are in the right line. And strength gives power automatically. When there is an inner strength, and that gives a power and power of transmission of that spirituality. So here in spiritual life also, every day practicing spiritual disciplines and thinking of the divine, what happens, our mind becomes more and more open and becomes open to the truth. And as it goes towards the truth, then what happens? The strength, the spiritual strength actually grows inside, and that is manifest as power in the day-to-day life. In day-to-day life means how we actually express ourselves, how we move in the world, how we interact with others. So that is the, so spiritual strength means, what is that? Spirituality is the inner connection with the inner self. Inner self is Atman, inner self is Brahman, or inner self is God. It may be Saguna Brahma, it may be Nirguna Brahma, but it is God. That distinction is not important. Important is loving God. So when we connect ourselves with the inner reality, which is called God, or your Ishta Devata, or your beloved, or you may be Vedantic understanding about yourself as Atman or Brahman. When you see like that, connect, then what this forgetfulness of the world comes. As we forget about the world, so more inner connection becomes stronger and stronger. But in our spiritual practice, it is a practice. When we do that, we cannot go to that level of concentration where we can disconnect with the world and go and connect with the inner world. And spiritual life is connecting with the inner world every moment, every effort. That's why you take mantra. That's why you try to think of the meaning of the mantra. That's why you think that Guru tells us where to meditate. We try to focus there. and the divine image, my Ishta Devata, whatever is there, both either Saguna or Nirguna, that's a different thing. So, but our connection, our spiritual practice means we do these ritual things, but our spiritual strength does not sometimes become visible, or growth is not visible, because though we do, it is actually we are not connecting there. There is some, suppose I am connecting with you in the online, if there is some obstacle there, you will be there, I will be there, and we are trying to talk, but it is getting cut, or it is being distorted. So as a result, I am not happy. If suppose we are talking, if you see that my words are all getting cut, you can do it for how long? 2 minutes, 5 minutes. So entire discussion, you cannot stay, and I cannot also enjoy that. So this has happened when we do our spiritual practice. We fail to connect with our divine self the way we wanted. It is, we cannot do that. As a result, what happens? We get frustrated. So spiritual practice is there more important. And we have to understand the spiritual practice. The real meaning of spiritual practice is that really to go and connect with the object of our meditation. And that time to forget the outer world, out I am there at all, that will be totally forgotten. My connection with the world, my relationship with the world, my gain, my loss, my happiness, my misery, whatever we say, those are all should go. So that's why we have to intensify our spiritual practice. We are doing, but how we have made some progress up to a certain point, but we are not fully happy. We are not becoming happy. After every day's meditation, we are not coming with a great joy. Wow, I had a good meditation. So if we look from that perspective, our Patanjali's yoga philosophy, as we always discuss about that, that is our guideline. What we see there, that we see that our all this preliminary practice of the yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, you all know, I am not going to discuss those things. What happens, that is a basic principle, and then you go for dharana. You're trying to keep the mind, holding the mind in the object of our meditation. Right? So when it is objective, we are trying to focus on the object of our meditation, the mind is not stabilized there. In a split second, it is running into different objects. And that is our problem, that we all face the challenge of our meditation.
Okay, so I have a question for you then. So what should our expectations be with our spiritual practice? Because it seems like, you know, like you started at the beginning, when we're working out, we're working our body, and we can actually feel the muscles, and we can lift more weights, and we see more things. So when we do our spiritual practice, we're training our mind to become more pure. Is that it? We're training our mind to go more towards God than towards the world.
Yeah.
And then what should our expectations be of how we know that we're making progress, how we know we're making growth? Because I mean, even Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, because Arjuna says, what if I can't do it? What if I should fail? And then Krishna says, it doesn't matter, because everything you do counts. It all counts. So just do it anyway. So how do we know that we're actually moving upward in the game? How do we measure this growth?
Those have been found that how our character is improving, our situation to handle the situation. We can face the challenges with calmness, serenity every day, how we are feeling revengeful or kind or accepting, even in adverse situation, mind is remaining little peaceful. A witness-like perspective is coming in my personality. That's why we read the Devasura Sangpad Vibhaga Yoga in the chapter 16. You all know that Abhayam, uh, so some qualities actually come in the life. Abhaya means fearlessness.
Mm.
One characteristic will grow in us. Whatever happens, one will feel that I'm okay, I'm nothing to fear. I have my Lord with me. That not that it will be in the highest level, but at least more. Yesterday I was a little more fearful. I will feel now less fearful because I know God is there and God is protecting me and He is my support. Abhayam. Sattva Sangshuddhi. Sattva Sangshuddhi means the purity of the heart. Second point. The heart will be pure. Pure means impure heart. Impure heart means your mind. Impure mind, what does it do? It looks at the objects, impure things. Where there is good, there also my mind will show doubt, confusion, seeing something negative of some objects. So, Sangshuddhi will be that purification of the mind will actually able to gain the strength that it is there. I don't see much. I see the positive side of it. Avayam Sattva Sangshuddhi. Then it says Jnana Yoga Bhavasthiti, steadfastness in the knowledge and yoga. Steadfast, as is the question that how we are stable, we are doing every day. But Ramakrishna talked about the hereditary, what you call the farmer. They always keep the ground ready. Okay, I don't get joy, but I will do it. Guru has told me I am doing. Steadfastness in that and also in the knowledge. Ultimately, I do not know, I do not feel it, but I am that. Vedantic perspective. I am that Brahman. I am that Atman. I am that pure self. I do not know, okay, what is there in it? Still cloud is there in between me and the truth. But that is not ultimate, but I am engaged in this Jnana Yoga, Bhavasthiti, they say, Saptasruti, Jnana Yoga, Jnana and Yoga, in Jnana, in Vedantic analysis, and also in the yoga, in the meditation, they are established. They are holding on to that Jnana Yoga Bhavasthiti. Danam, Damaha, Jagnaha. Danam means giving anything for anybody, to give away that idea, to help others, to do something to help others, to give peace to others, to try that way. So Jnana Yoga Bhavasthiti, the Dhanam, and then Dhamma. Dhamma is the control of the senses. This senses means all the senses and their mind. Mind is the boss. Mind is the 11th sense. So there will be control will come. These are the effects of meditation. If we observe ourselves, I used to get maybe very quickly agitated and irritated. Now I get irritated, but little less than that. I used to get, within 2 minutes, 1 minute, I used to get furious about something. I can hold myself for 5 minutes. That's a development. I could not find any intense urge for sitting in, but if I miss my morning meditation, yoga bhavasthiti, jnana bhavasthiti, then I have not done it. I should have to do. Previously, I was not aware. If I don't do, I don't feel anything bad. Okay. But we feel when you are hungry, I have not eaten. So for physical food, our hunger tells us that I have not eaten. But that's not hunger, is how you sense it. Similarly, when in your day-to-day pursuit, this thing will happen, there you will also feel, unconsciously you'll feel, I have not done that. I forgot God. I forgot the name of God. say, oh, for so many, instead of talking negatively, then say, okay, let me start now.
Right. So if you're feeling a little grumpy or a little angry or a little fearful, you might remind yourself, oh, I haven't been meditating lately, or I haven't been doing my sadhana lately. I need to get back in the temple, or I need to get back in my prayer room and go to God and spend that time with God.
Yeah.
What was it like for you when you were a young monastic, when you were a brahmachari in India, and you had that very strict schedule of sadhana? Did you take to it right away, or what was that like?
No, Vedanta, in Vedanta idea, our meditation chamber is not the only place where we do our spiritual sadhana. That's the uniqueness of Belur Math or Ramakrishna order, that your all activity, your all interaction with all effort, whatever you are doing, that is your service to God. So that type of concept, though we fail, maybe whole day I have worked without any that philosophy, but that was the way it is trained. And the classes, what has happened, in the morning there are spiritual classes. So whenever we used to go to class, it reminds us, hey, what I am doing, whole day yesterday, what I did, and what scripture is telling. And these sadhus used to give us those hidden secrets during activity, how we forget and how we can reconnect, how other sadhus have done that. So that itself is awareness, to bring an awareness of our spiritual practice. This is very important point. We always have the concept that being in the shrine, going into meditation is good, but that is only how much time we can give in our day-to-day life. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, 24 hours. How to make balance there? This is the point. Here, 24 hours I'm to remember, I'm doing for the Lord. And whatever happening, I did something, what people are praising. It's what my praise. It is Lord's work. I have done. They're praising the Lord. So Lord is giving me the guidance. In any action we do, we can really recreate this type of feeling. That training was there. Not that they are 24 hours with us, but in the morning class or in some question, in the public class, when we go, we are reminded of this 24-hour spiritual practice. So that is very important. Then what happens when we are doing our karma in the right spirit, that will make us niskama. And the niskama karma idea, as we practice, as much as we succeed, that the mind will teach me, hey, I'll have to go for meditation. That one will help meditation. Good meditation will bring me the good awareness. Oh, with the spirit, I will have to work. Oh, I forgot that. So it is a holistic thing together. So all these moods can be utilized in this way.
So was it like Shradana, Manana, Nididhyasana, and Shradana was the classes that you were in, and then the Manana was the meditation, and then Nididhyasana was the karma yoga and just living your outside life?
You can think in that way, Sravana Manana Nididhyasana. Also, you can think in this way, that Sravana Manana Nididhyasana, you are thinking, say you thought today study was that I am the witness consciousness. So if that was the study. So you try to analyze that, everything happening, that predominant thought will be there behind the mind. So that will help us that, oh, I should not get involved so much. It is just I'm the witness. The body mind is doing work. If that is the study of that day, we should take advantage of the study and then apply that in the day-to-day life. Someday it was too much, maybe highly devotional discussion came. And then you can feel, oh, what am I doing? I'm doing for the Lord. I am his servant only. I have no other thing to think about. So how I can serve God, that is my business. There is no question what people talk about, whether it is appreciated or not appreciated. So all these thoughts can help us then.
That's good.
So that the spiritual practice should be holistic.
Right.
Holistic spiritual practice, and we should pay attention because of my spiritual practice, how I am feeling freedom, how
Yeah.
I am feeling inner joy, how I am feeling inner peace. And the question what started with that we do meditation and we don't find joy at all. That was the question. Yes, that does not mean that we are not progressing in spiritual life. That someday it seems nothing happening, but that nothing happening is not the sign that you are not progressing. I
Right.
normally give the example of the sine curve. No, mind is very cheerful and mind is moving up, 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 up. You are feeling very good. Good days of meditation, good prayers, and good chanting, etc., etc. Your curve is going on. Sometimes curve goes down, 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 down. Even sometimes, why am I doing? That's called the dark night of the soul. We hear about that. It is just like that. It is not pleasing. I don't find any joy about doing it. That also is a progress. You see the access line. If I was in this point, I have moved here. When car was in the higher line, when it's down, coming down, I am progressing. And then again it is coming up, maybe again progressing again down. So spiritual life, depending on mind, our mind is vacillating mind. That's why it is always the mind becomes like that.
Yeah, I like that analogy. That's good because even though it feels like we're on a downturn, we're further than we were before. So that's a really good point.
Mm.
We have so many challenges today. And the biggest challenge I hear from so many people is, but I'm so busy, but I'm so busy. There's all these other things taking our attention away. And it doesn't help that there's, Netflix and Hulu and all this other, everything is fighting for our attention all the time. So how can we train ourselves to put our mind in the right place and to always put God first?
Yeah, no, that's the point. Here comes Vedanta in our help. So one type of thing is this world is all wrong, let me go to God. Another thing is that see God in everything because there is nothing but God. But at the beginning, if we do, we will make a mistake. We'll take the material object as God and get attached and then bound there. But a sincere spiritual seeker will not see God with closing the eyes. But sincere spiritual seeker also will try to, I'm interacting with whom? The God in this person, in God in me. My beloved Lord Krishna is there in him and also in me. Like that type of, at this thought, in the thought level. Meditation is what? Meditation in your thought level. You think. What is the reality there? You are sitting and you are imagining that you are the infinite ocean of love. It's an imagination. Oh, why do you do the imagination in your mind? You think my beloved Lord is sitting here. For me, it is nothing. I am imagining now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we are imagining on truth because I have no concept. So I heard from the Upanishad, I heard from our gurus that this is the object of meditation and is God, God the pure, God the infinite, like that. That concept is I am meditating upon. And as a result, one day, when the mind will perfectly able to grasp this, then I'll see the divine within. So it is imagination. So we are to imagine in meditation. Why not let us meditate while we are with eyes open, interacting, working, for our daily chores even.
Yes, that works for me because I think, when I'm watching a movie or something, I'm not just thinking about the story because there's stories in real life anyway. I mean, there's so much drama just having kids. I mean, we all know about that kind of thing, but I'm looking at the creativity that went into making this production and the teamwork that went into it and the underlying message that they want the audience to take away and the emotions that come up that we only have as human beings, right?
Hmm.
Is that a
Yeah.
good way to look at it?
Yeah, I think we should look from that perspective only, everything in that perspective. Because ultimate truth is that all the Upanishads are saying that God is everywhere, no? Sarvam khalu idam brahma. But only mistake is that Vedanta does not take that at the very beginning stage. Because if you take that, then you will mistake this mundane, ephemeral appearance to be true. And
Right.
then being attached to that, you will say, I love God.
Right.
Then people will be confused like that. That's why we say, and Ramakrishna said in one place, what is the sign of our spirituality? He said, it is Ishare Anurag, Vishaye Virag. Two things he has mentioned. It will happen simultaneously. Anurag, love for Anurag for Ishvara. That means love for God, and Vishaye Virag. Only many people may be frustrated. Virag means detached. I am disgusted with the world. There is nothing. It is all bad. All merely saying that all it is bad will not give anyone spiritual realization. Because many people may be frustrated. Say, for example, we find that someone have a relationship, a broken relationship. And that moment, giving general information, when that broken relationship, then that moment, that person thinks, what is this life? What is the meaning of this? And a temporary renunciation, detachment comes from everything. But that does not stay. But one can detach that and can attach to something else. That is spirituality. Our thing will be how to detach from the worldly side and attach to the permanent eternal side. Permanent eternal side is God in everywhere.
Right. So it's constantly, it's like a practice of constantly asking yourself what is real, what is not real, what is important.
That part should be in the mind, part of the mind. And love everyone, love everything. You are not to get out of the life. You do whatever you are doing. You can do it much devotion. As we normally, many times I give the example that you are cleaning your room. You clean much better because you know it is Lord's house you are cleaning. So you are putting Lord there. So it cannot be on one dust should not be there. Oh, my room, okay, let it be there. Someone, I live there. What is the? No, it is not yours, nothing yours. It is God, God, God. So if we can apply that type of philosophy to bring God into our consciousness and awareness, that is the spiritual growth. And if jaha jaha netra pore, taha taha Krishna spure. So wherever our eyes fall, and then there we have to see that it will be natural for a realized soul, that they don't see God, not other thing. That's spiritual growth in its climax. But when we are in the spiritual growth, that same feeling should come into our life, that it is God is playing. It is God's activity going on. I am serving God. So bringing that awareness is a sign of my spiritual growth.
That's good. So when we're making dinner, we can be making dinner for God. We can be going to the grocery store for God or with God, bringing God with us by our side all the time. Like Krishna always says, I'm everywhere and I'm right by your sides.
Yeah, that's true.
I like that. Does anyone have any questions? You can either raise your hand or just unmute yourself and ask a question, or you can write it in the chat. So don't be shy. Do I see anybody raising their
It's
hand?
like a continuation of it's basically I'm going by what Swami was just talking about and there's one chapter in a book that was published many years ago. It's the story of Ramakrishna mission. It's a huge book. It's about 1,000 pages. But there's one part in this book which is about Swami Premananda's life, and how he said this part of that book deals exactly with what Swamiji just talking about. And I'll read a few extracts from that page. It's very brief. It's not very long. He said when Swamiji meaning Swami Vivekananda first came back from the West, the account says Swamiji taught him that the energy of a monk must not get exhausted only in the shrine and ritualistic worship. It must be directed simultaneously towards the service of man. And then he says he used to train, and now this he is Swami Premananda, used to teach and train the young monks that the hours of worship in the shrine did not alone constitute the spiritual aspect of monasticism, but life as a whole must turn into a continuous meditation. This was just what Swami Vivekananda wanted it to be, and the very spirit of Ramakrishna mission.
Wonderful. Good. Good you have
Beautiful.
wrote that line. Yeah.
Beautiful.
But this is a very inspiring page. In fact, before I start my prayer and meditation in the morning, this is one of the pages I always read because it's an ideal to come back to. It's a hard ideal, which is sometimes frustrating, but it's nevertheless it keeps me on track.
Right. Exactly so. That it is very much essential also. Otherwise, we cannot make any spiritual progress because, after the disturbed mind coming from job or with other disturbing activity of the life or interaction with somebody, and when I come to sit for meditation, then what will come? All the disturbance will be in my mind, that will come. And I will meditate on those disturbances. I will concentrate on what I said, what you said, and which point I forgot to say something, and then where is your fault you said that, and then you can get more points to fight out the next place, starting with those arguments. So that's why people say, when you get meditated, angry, don't sit for meditation. Just go out of the place and then analyze differently and then come back for your meditation. Don't do that. Many people say that someone is depressed. Okay, think of God. Don't allow that person, don't give such advice to allow him to meditate. A depressed person meditating, he will concentrate on your depression.
That is the truth. That is the truth.
And
better to go out, take a walk, get in nature, start thinking of your blessings instead of just sitting there and getting more and more and more depressed.
Right. You sing a song, you go to a garden, do some garden, call a friend and just vent your anger with your friend, at least something goes out. But you are now compressing that ideas and it will burst out sometime and a volatile way. So that is the point. These are called spiritual growth. We will have to understand that no one's life is free from all these obstacles. These are obstacles. And why it happens in life? That because to make us strong. Why so much difficulties come on in our spiritual life? It is to make our understanding clear what is spirituality. How come you are becoming? No? Look at Krishna. And all through the episodes of Krishna, how he is managing the whole war with calmness in his face. Rama, Ramananda Sagar's Rama episode you will watch. How Rama is, in the movie also, how he was so calm and every expression is calmness and serenity. That is spirituality. One can even see Totapuri. Totapuri was in ecstasy. And he is the guru of Ramakrishna. Even in that case, I am giving an extraordinary example. And he got mad when a person came and took some charcoal from his dhuni. He was to smoke something abnormal. So he took a charcoal. And Brahmagyani, like Totapuri, got mad. See? Here is it a spiritual growth or not growth? Yes, it is too high a spiritual growth. But his anger, how dare you take this from my holy dhuni, your smoking fire. You dare, so I will kill you. So he ran after him with a chimta, with a tongue. So here is the point. That is great progress, but you are to missing one point, that whom you are chasing, who is that? Who is taking, you say, Brahma, Parang, Brahma, Hovi, Brahma, Agnu, Brahma, every, and then who is the, what is the fire taken? Who is taking the fire? It is all, because he does not believe this is all Maya. That was the weak point there. This is
Yeah.
all Maya, so it is not true. You cannot do that. It is purity, impurity is there, auspicious, inauspicious is there. Therefore, this action. But a right person, then when he went to Ramakrishna, then Ramakrishna said, you don't believe my mother, go to mother and see. And when he had the transcendental God found immanent in the whole world, mother is pulsating everywhere, then whom will you run with your tongue to kill? Huh? Who is doing bad thing? Who is doing good thing? Because act Ram, 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 Ram. That Ramakrishna's example, the boy is just caught a grasshopper, and then he's putting a stick in his body. Then Ramakrishna said, oh Rama, you are putting your pain yourself. You as a grasshopper, putting your pain as a boy and in your own body. So who is there but one? So that is the final spiritual growth. So till one goes to that flight, this duality will remain. But see, ultimately it came back to the same circle, that everything is permeated with one God who is inside. That Rama, who is inside, Jo Ram Dasarath ki beta, Ohi Ram Ghat Ghat mein leta, Ohi Ram Jagat pasera, Ohi Ram sabse niyara. That Rama is the nearest of the near. That Rama is residing in the heart of all. And that Rama was born as Dasratha Nandana. So it is there is nothing but Rama, 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 Rama. That is the spiritual growth in its climax. There is nothing but God. But from our standpoint, we will have to move to this flight by practicing this discipline. This discipline. Everything is Rama. I am not seeing. My vision is blurred. I am not seeing. But truth is this.
Yeah. So it kind of sounds like part of spiritual growth is learning how to use these other spiritual tools, so that when the time comes, like we feel anger or we feel frustration, or something horrendous happens to us, we can pull out one of those tools and cope with it in a spiritual way, rather than a very human crazy way.
Right.
So so meditation we know is a spiritual tool, prayer is a spiritual tool, but just discrimination, right, or discernment, viveka, is a spiritual tool. Fortitude, determination. I mean, I guess the Bhagavad Gita is full of all these things. Courage, forgiveness. I'm reading chapter 16, some of the traits, the divine and demonic that you mentioned. Cultivate these qualities is what Krishna keeps saying. Cultivate these qualities and the divine treasures you'll find. Well, where do we find them? We find them within ourselves, right?
Right. That is the awareness, and that is the point where we are lacking. And then we'll have to think how we can improve day by day. So not only in this meditation chamber, but meditation chamber, it will be good if really our mind, as I said, that's very important. That point also needs to be emphasized, that when I'm trying to connect with God, it is like their bad Wi-Fi connection. It is getting one split, one connection happens, one word comes, and after 10 minutes, another word comes. And sometimes does not come anything. So bad connection. Here is so bad connection. I am doing it through other hotspot. And because that's a special tool, what is called. This is this type of thing.
Yeah, good.
No, it is not mine. It's one of our brothers. So if it is not there, no connection would have been possible. Meaning neither you are not there, neither I am here. but without that. So similarly, our mind is the tool. So we'll have to be watchful how the mind is getting spiritually connected, and that spiritual connection, as much as we connect whole day, make the mind aware of God consciousness, then aware about God, then that much will be our meditation. This gap will reduce. And someday it does, by rare fortune. And whole day we have to talk to our mind. Hey, I want that peace of union with the Lord. I want to see him. In undercurrent in our mind, if I keep, suppose in your undercurrent, what happens? You say, I am pressurized. Some people say, I am pressurized. Well, what? Oh, I have an appearance on that day, and it's a serious thing. We'll have to face the lawyer and this and that and that. But it is 5 days ahead. Why are you so much tense now? It is undergoing in your mind in undercurrent. That happens in our day-to-day life, no? With serious problem of your, say, your office problem, or your business problem, or in our something which is coming next month, you'll have to face that challenge. You have undercurrent, your mind is saying, that is, oh, what to do. Similarly, if our undercurrent mind says, this is all going on, but when shall I unite with my meditation with God? No, that type of mental preparation gives us a boosting, and that when we sit for that, then you can enjoy it. Suppose you think that you love one particular flavor of ice cream, and you are thinking, I'll go and get it and grab it and this and that. So after that, after a long time expecting and then going to the shopping and purchasing one, and when you really take and one scoop of that put in your mouth, you enjoy much more. Because your mind was thinking of that is good, I like it. Huh?
Yeah.
But suddenly you like that, but you are just do not know anything, and you are busy with something and just drops that beautiful ice cream flavor, what you like most, but you will just put in your tongue, you will not enjoy that much.
Yeah, you're right. It's where your mind is,
Mind
right?
readiness of the mind.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also the highest spiritual point also is surrender, when you know that you're not the one working anyway. You're not, you know, for people who are feeling pressured and I have to do this, I have to do this. Surrendering is another tool we can use to know that God's doing the work through us, and our little mind, our little human beingness plays a part, but if we just let go and let God do it for us, it'll be easier for us.
Yeah, these are all the tools, all the yogas, teachings of the yogas, samadama, titiksha, upurati, shraddha, samadhan, all this sort of sampatti, all whatever we hear about, all are the tools, no? And we can take help of any tool. Vedanta teaches us, take anything, whatever makes you feel ready for that particular time and mood. That's why you take bhakti mood, surrender, jnana mood, the analysis, discernment, nitta vastu viveka, or you take the karma yoga idea, or you take the bhakti yoga idea, jnana yoga. So take any idea, and you should not be rigid that I should be always taking this Vedanta path. If you can, take it 24 hours. If you not, when you cannot, take the other tools also. So how to take all the tools and teach the mind to focus on our chosen ideal or goal of life, and that will be beneficial for our growth, and then we'll find greater joy, because in karma, then karma will be joyful.
I think that's what I like about Vedanta so much, is it's so forgiving. It's so like individualized. It totally meets each person exactly where they are with whatever tools they have, with whatever, and provides whatever tools they need. It's not like it has to be this way for every single person.
Exactly, yeah. And we have, even in a day, even you are a man of bhakti, your bhakti's mood does not remain the same whole day. So in whatever mood you are, so how we can utilize those moods, those environments, those situations, and there we can really apply that and make the best use of it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Do you find that your practice has changed over the years, or your expectations have changed over the years?
Mostly, I don't expect much.
That's a good way to be, right?
better. I think that better to drive the car as much as we can, rather than only thinking of the goal, how much I have come. That may be a good idea. But more emphasis is that, am I moving? Moving means what? Moving means my effort. I'm doing my best effort, and I'm doing the best and saying, oh, this much I did, and but rest is, oh Lord, take care. No. So, but we should be aware every day to think that yes, how my journey, I'm sincere in my journey.
I think one big challenge for a lot of us householders is that in so many ways we need to rely on other people. It's like not just up to us to get something done. Like there's all these different pieces of the puzzles that have to come together, and we can't control those other pieces of the puzzle. And it can get frustrating, and we have expectations of those other people. So how do we manage that?
There is also same thing. Did I do my best? Everything depends on so many factors. So how do I expect that everyone will be equally sincere and connected and to the goal oriented? No, that's a part of life. We accept that. Let it be so. I did my best. I encouraged others to do so. If they did or not did, that's not my business. The world is not mine. The goal I have fixed, that goal is also fixed in the world. But when to reach that goal, I targeted that it should be, this project will end on such and such day. But so many obstacles, it didn't work. Okay, I am sincere. It is my spiritual growth. That is my spiritual growth. I am not ignoring my duties, or I am not less interested in achieving the goal. I'm not putting less effort to do it. And then rest of the thing is to be given to God. That's a surrender.
Yeah.
Doing our best effort, surrender.
Yeah. And that makes me think, though, that even though we don't have control of a lot of things in our life because we have to rely on other people, we really do have control of our own spiritual growth and spiritual strength based on how much effort we put into it, how much attention we put on it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And spiritual life is subjective development. Objectively, world remains the same, no? See, Ramakrishna was in Dakshineshwar. He cried, wept, and whatever he did, he was doing singularly. Who was joining him? When he was in Dakshineshwar whole night, at the end of the day, he goes into the deep forest there, and sitting under the Panchavati. Whole night he is meditating on this mosquito infested place. Who is joining with him? Who did join with him? Is there anybody? And similarly, in our spiritual life, we have to do our own effort. Of course, Guru's grace, God's grace, it's behind us, and that will be, but we need not have to think whether their grace is coming or not. Most of the time we think, is there God's grace? Where is Guru's grace? God's grace? And Ramakrishna answered, Are Baba, that grace is all the time there. You have not unfurled your sail, that's why it is not catching the wind. The sail is not catching the wind and not making a realistic feeling that the boat is moving faster. That means not to blame anyone, but we are trying our best. That's our capacity. What can we do? A boy can lift, or say same age group boy, 20 boys you gather us, assemble together and give different things to lift. One is enough if you can lift 5 kg or 10, say 10 pound. Another is 20 pound is nothing. He can put in like that. No? So you see, when people, delivery people come with heavy loads of things, they take that thing like that in one hand and just put it there. Could you imagine? If you have to do that, you will have to make an effort, your hand will break. So each one has different capacity. So I need not have to compete with others' capacity in spiritual life. That is the point. I am doing my best and rest Mother will look after. He will lift my hand. No, he will hold my hand. It is grace is the ultimate point. Bhagavan will be kind to him who is seen to be sincere and trying the best and saying, oh Lord, I did this much. Yes, we will say this much. I am trying to meditate. It is dry. How can I do day after day? Please do something. Ramakrishna taught us those teachings. No? Tell, yeah, how can I continue? Yeah, could you do that? Had you been in my position? And now you are doing this type to think today. That means such sort of emotion, such type of real, sincere prayer. That is also spiritual practice. I want it. I cannot do it. Okay, why not help me? Where shall I go? I have no other refuge.
Yeah. One day at a time, one moment at a time, keeping God in mind all the time.
Right.
Well, we're getting close to our end. Is there anyone who has any questions for Swamiji or any comments?
Swamiji, I had one question, and that's with Shraddha. So how much does Shraddha in our expectations of religious life, we should not really have any expectations on spiritual growth, but how big of a role does Shraddha play in it?
No, I should have a goal. I want it today. But my effort, I did this much. I cannot, so you come to help. Shraddha means what? Faith and trust. Faith and trust together. Faith, as I give the example, faith and trust. We have our faith, trust, and respect. So we have faith when you go to the barber shop, that with the razor he will not cut my throat. I have faith. Because and then trust that trust is there. But we have not deep respect as we respect our mom, dad, or gurus, or our ishto. No? And we respect our great teachers and our guides, but we have no faith. Ramakrishna said it will happen. Do, cry, pray, it will happen. We have no faith in the words of the scripture and things, but love and respect for them. That is not Shraddha. Half is there, half is missing. When both will be there, Sri Ramakrishna says, it is true. Upanishad says, it is true. I don't see what is there in that. Shraddha is necessary. And Shraddha says, by God's grace in this life, all God realization is possible. That Shraddha should be there. Well, now, effort is the question. As I said, we should be, without Shraddha, Ramakrishna Swamiji mostly emphasized, talking about Nachiketa's Shraddha. No? Knowing that God realization is possible, he went to the house of the Yama, death, God of death. He didn't got frightened. Am I going to the God of death for my question? He's ready to die even. That means the sense is that I'm ready to die to know the truth. So that is the Shraddha. That should be there. That is the target. That is the goal of life. But practically what we have to do, we will have to pay more attention to our journey, to our movement in spiritual growth. Practice more important rather than only thinking of goal. As I say, always sitting in my room, if I say, oh, make a goal that I'll reach New York, I'll reach Boston or I'll reach something. And sitting in the home only thinking Boston, 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 New York, New York, New York. New York is so good, New York is so good. And the scripture says New York about Brahman is so good, Atman is so good, Atman, Brahman is so joyful, it becomes one with together, and that's what a beautiful joy. That's all. And the car remains there, and I sit in my room, in my chair. So New York will never come in life. So that's the point, that we have to be up and doing with our capacity. How much we have done, that's nothing enough. Do it more, do it more. Bring that awareness in the mind and all the time. Come.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. I love that. Well, Swami, we have a special video for you. Let me,
Video for me.
yes,
Wow.
wait till you see this, okay? Because we know it was your birthday yesterday, your USA birthday yesterday. So let me,
That's my problem.
I'm gonna share my screen here. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this go full screen. Okay, so here, is it playing?
Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah, this is good.
Happy birthday!
Birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Swamiji. Everybody can unmute yourself and give your greetings.
Happy birthday. Yeah, happy birthday
Happy
to all
birthday,
of
Swamiji.
Namaskar.
Swamiji.
Jai Ma, Kailas, Rajani, Prasenjit, Jaidev. Thank
Whoops,
you.
it's starting again. I gotta turn it off. Hang on. Oh, I have to go. Okay. This is the fun part of doing computer stuff, right? It was on another bhajan. They're repeating. Okay, we have one more question from Marcia. She says, Swami, having faith and trust will help me not judge myself and looking for my improvement. When I do my best in my practice, then I trust and have faith that I am spiritually growing by doing my practice. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is at least bring some satisfaction in the mind. I exercised my best and rest of the thing in the Lord's hand, and be humble to pray to God that I cannot do any more. So there comes much more spiritual progress. Spiritual progress is you feel the liking, like I am a human personality, you are another person. We feel some relationship where we can demand something, expect something. So when we bring God into our awareness, that I did this much, that also by your grace I did. But why not extend your grace rope a little further so that I can enjoy you more and feel more connected with you. So I think our effort is very important, and we should be surrendering there and doing our best every day. Never be frustrated. Even I don't see any light. Even I don't see any light. It's a Sabari's pratiksha. That is Ramcharit Manas describes beautifully, Sabari is waiting, waiting, Rama will come. And that's why this is an example. You have to wait like Sabari. Sabari, that tribal girl, is residing in the house of the sage Matanga. And the Matanga Rishi nurtured that girl, and then he passed away and said, you stay here in this kutia and don't go anywhere. And Rama will come one day. He will bless you by his physical presence. And that young girl gradually waited every day, every day. Every day they prepare. Every day preparation. God may come at any point of time. Every day she's plucking flowers, making garland, some petals of the flowers, making the road, strewing on the road, so that Rama comes and will be walking on the flower petals. No? So doing that, he's every day she's preparing and waiting. Rama will come, Rama will come, Rama will. Oh, today he didn't come. Okay, Rama will come. And then wait, and she become old, quite old, and tottering on the stick, waiting for Rama. Yeah, say, and then ultimately Rama came, Rama came, and she was so overwhelmed and the life was satisfied. Swami Brahmananda says, Swami Brahmananda told Swami Prabhupada or some other Swami, most probably Prabhupada ji, that I like to go to see your room. I like to go to see your room in the monastery. Then he said, I'm not ready, Swami. But you should be always ready for me whenever I want to. If Guru wants to go, you said, my room is not ready. Keep the room ready every moment. God can come anyway, any point of time. Keep your heart pure, just ready to receive him. So that readiness should be our effort. This is there is a song. Jodi e amaro hridayo duaro bandho rahe go kobu দ্বার ভেঙে তুমি এসো মোর প্রাণে ফিরিয়া যেও না কভু যদি Oh Lord, if you sometimes find he's praying to God because we are not ready all the time. That's why he's saying, if sometimes you come and you find that you are coming to my heart to reveal, but my door is shut. My prayer. Don't go back because the door is shut. You know my weakness. Break through the door and just come in and make your seat here. So this is a prayer for God to say. Rabindranath Tagore sang, composed this. But we have to keep ready. This door is open always for you. And there is no moment the least he comes
Door
and
of my heart.
Say
No,
it.
there's an English devotional which says,
Sing.
door
Yes.
of my heart, open wide I keep.
Sing that song. Sing that song. Sing.
Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. Wilt thou come, just for once come to me? Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee.
See? I keep my door open. There is a more positive. So we should be ready to, we should only not sing, but to say, yeah, door is open. When he comes, then I'm busy with something else. When the phone call comes from God, my phone is busy with other objects.
It's a busy signal.
That's why it is good to do all action for God. So I'll get connected. Even if he calls, I am doing the work for you, so I am connected with you.
Yes. We
I
need to have call waiting.
I'm not call waiting. I am talking to my friend. I am talking to God in my friend. So the line is connected all the time.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, Swami, it's been such a pleasure. We've missed you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. You're wonderful. I hope we all get to see you in person very, very soon.
Okay, thank you, Jai Mata.
And happy birthday, Jai Ma,
All of you.
Jai Shri Ramakrishna. Will you give us a little chant out?
Oh, chant out? Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Panam Astu. Okay, Nitin, how are you?
I'm doing well, Maharaj. How are you?
Okay.
It's
There
good to see you long.
Srinivas is here, and here is Rai is here, Kailas is here, Vijay Babu and Nandita is there, Mahana. They are there. Marcia, you are there, Marcia.
I am.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, so
Wonderful.
thank you all. Kalpana is also here in the phone.
Yes. And
Okay.
Pavitra was here. I don't know what happened.
Pavitra was here. Pavitra was here. Okay, good.
She was
good.
here. Yeah.
Acha.
Okay.
Okay. And
All
now
right.
Lisa was there all the time, of course.
Yes. All right. Thank
Okay.
you, everyone, so much. And we'll see you next month.
you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Parama.
Bye.
Bye-bye.